Big news in the sports world today. The NCAA Final Four logo was revealed today. Besides the grand reveal, they've also announced that they'll be restoring this historic basketball court at Harmon Park.
On behalf of the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee, welcome to Harmon Park. This is our first event for the 2017 Phoenix Final Four, and we couldn't be more excited to have you here, the students from Lowell Elementary. There's so many folks joining us today, and it's a great gathering to celebrate the historic unveiling of the 2017 Phoenix Final Four logo, as well as announcing our first legacy project in conjunction with the NCAA Legacy Restorations. We are here today both because of the wisdom of the NCAA in awarding Phoenix its first ever Final Four, but also the ability of this tremendous community to come together and show both the NCAA staff and the NCAA Men's Basketball Committee our passion for hosting this iconic event, one that we feel is the best collegiate sporting event championship. We are privileged to host the student athletes, coaches, and fans of the 4 teams that will travel here in 2017 in hopes of winning a national championship. And we are eager for our community to experience the events that are part of this championship, including the Music Festival and Fan Fest, just to name a few. We are grateful to have so many distinguished guests with us here today, and I'd like to start off by introducing you introducing the Men's Basketball Committee to you. We are so pleased to have you here for your November meetings, and I'm glad that you are enjoying some Arizona warmth. We had a little cloud cover today just to show you that we don't have sun 365 days a year, just 360. And we are very appreciative of you taking the light rail yesterday from the airport to your hotel. So if you could welcome, please, Bruce Rasmussen from Creighton University, Bernard Muir from Stanford University, Jim Schaus from Ohio University, Joe Oliva from LSU, Joe Castiglione from University of Oklahoma and chair of this year's Men's Basketball Committee, Mark Hollis from Michigan State, Tom Homo from Brigham Young University. Welcome Kevin White back to Phoenix, now at Duke University, Peter Roby from Northeastern University, and Janet Cohn from the University of North Carolina, Asheville, as well as Joanne Scott and Dave Warlock, who are here with our staff. So welcome, NCAA Men's Basketball Committee. I'd also really like to thank the 4 Division I institutions here in Arizona for being here today. And while you'll have a chance to hear from the 4 coaches shortly, I'd especially like to thank the athletic directors that have taken time out of their schedule, and 2 for taking the time to come in from quite a distance. So we have Ray Anderson from the host institution, Arizona State University, Greg Byrne from Arizona, Lisa Campos from NAU, and Mike Vaught from GCU. Thank you very much for being here today. I'd also like to welcome several individuals who have been instrumental in the success of not only the bid, but will be key as we move forward. And if you could give your best Rose Bowl wave as I mention your name. We have our community partners here from ASTA, Tom Sadler, CEO. We have many people here from our local convention and visitors bureaus and our municipalities that have been so key in putting this event together. Mesa, Tempe, Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Glendale. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you very much to Mayor Wires from being here from Glendale, as well as Sammy Shavira, one of the councilmen, Kate Gallego and Laura Pastor from the Phoenix City Council, Jerry Colangelo, chairman of USA Basketball, thank you for joining us here today, Catherine Miranda, Arizona State Senator, Debbie Johnson's here today, the director of Arizona Office of Tourism and part of our bid committee, Steve Moore from Visit Phoenix, who is also part of our bid committee, Ed Zerker, Paul Blue, who was part of our bid presentation here from the city of Phoenix. I want to especially thank Lowell Elementary, the 3rd, 5th, and 6th graders that are here today, and Principal Kelly. You really make this event special for us, and we're really appreciative. And I would love to have Steve Coulter and the former players that have graced these great courts at Harmon just come up here for a minute and give us a wave, because Steve's done such a great job bringing back these former greats Just come right up here, guys, so we can acknowledge you. Thank you so much. These gentlemen played here, grew up here, have spread out across the country, and it's so wonderful to have you back. I can't thank Steve enough for his efforts. He really sold Harmon Park when we did our site visit, and the entire Parks and Housing Authority, their time and effort. I know Esther and her staff are here, and just can't thank you enough for what you've done. I also believe that Tommy Nunez was going to join us today, the first Hispanic official in any pro sport. The gym here at Harmon Park is named after Tommy. Arizona State University will play a critical role in hosting the Final Four, and you can see that here today with students that welcomed you here from Cronkite School and W.P. Carey. Our students, faculty, and staff are excited about embracing this opportunity, and the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee is looking forward to working hand in hand with Arizona State to make this a memorable Final Four, and as a classroom for the students at Arizona State to provide input, suggestions, and execution of the Final Four events and new initiatives. And so now to begin our program, I'd like to welcome NCAA Vice President for Men's Basketball, Danny Gavitt, to say a few words.
Well, good morning. This is an incredibly exciting day. Do you know, by the time the Final Four arrives here in April of 2017, it will have been 22 years since the last Final Four was played in the western portion of the United States of America. In Seattle in 1995, UCLA beat Arkansas to win the national championship, and it's thrilling to know that finally, after a long time, too long actually, the Final Four will be back here on the western coast of the United States. Arizona becomes actually the 22nd state to host the Final Four and the first one to host for the first time since Michigan did in Detroit in 2009. The Final Four will mark the 24th time that the NCAA championship has been hosted in the state of Arizona. The very first time was in 1974 in Tucson. And since then, we've hosted NCAA tournament rounds in Tempe, in Glendale, and of course in Phoenix. And most recently, 6 different rounds of the championship, first and second rounds and regionals, have been played right here in the Valley of the Sun. It's obvious the NCAA loves to bring its premier championship to the Phoenix area. Aside from great hosts in this area and the incredible weather, there's also many reasons why the Phoenix area is such a great place for the NCAA championship and March Madness. To consider some of these special moments in the history of the tournament here in the state of Arizona. In 1974, the very first time the tournament was played here in Tucson, UCLA beat a Dayton team in triple overtime, a UCLA team led by Bill Walton. 2 very epic comebacks took place right here in Phoenix and Western Regionals. West Virginia came back from an 18-point deficit to Xavier to tie the game and take it into overtime. And then Xavier overcame a 6-point deficit in overtime to win that game. And most recently, a battle featuring Rick Pitino going up against his former player, Billy Donovan. Louisville outscored Florida 23-8 down the stretch to advance to the Final Four out of Phoenix. And then there's UConn. UConn, on 3 different occasions, has won the West Regional, 2 of those times in 1999 and 2004, advancing to win the national championship, and then again in 2009, advancing to the Final Four. Surely Kevin Ollie would like to be back in Phoenix with his team in 2017. And while we don't know which 4 teams will be here, we do know that the experience in this area will be incredibly special for the student athletes, the coaches, and the teams that advance to this great community. We're privileged at the NCAA to work with outstanding corporate partners and champions that help to advance our championship and provide great experiences for student athletes. And one of our corporate partners is Buffalo Wild Wings, which since 2013 has been the official hangout of March Madness. We want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings for their incredible support for the championship and recognize Jennifer Wood from Momentum Worldwide, which is Buffalo Wings' agency, who's here with us this morning. Thank you, Jennifer and Buffalo Wild Wings, for all your support. Finally, I do want to make special thanks to all 4 head coaches who are here from the 4 Division I institutions for the state of Arizona. Incredible story and history that they have as former players in the NCAA championship and very accomplished coaches now leading our great game. And in particular, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to be with us. All 4 teams opened their season on Friday night. So they're having a pretty busy week preparing their teams for the start of the regular season. I want to wish you all the very best of luck this season, and thank you very much for being here. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Danny, and we really appreciate both your and your staff's guidance as we walk through this process for the first time. I'd now like to welcome Michigan State Athletic Director Mark Hollis, who will serve as chair for the 2017 Phoenix Final Four. Mark.
Good morning. This may seem like a chilly day to all of you, but to Coach Izzo and I, this is like the 4th of July, the climate we get. But it's on behalf of my colleagues, members of the basketball committee, we're looking forward to the Final Four here. It's going to be an incredible experience, I think, for the teams and the communities that come in, and we are very much looking forward to that. Along with it, this city is going to come alive like nothing you've seen. I know you've had unbelievable events here in the past, but what we're already starting to work on and what will happen over the months ahead is going to be a landscape that's going to set festivals for fans, very economical opportunities, in some cases free opportunities, to really enjoy the sport of college basketball. You're going to have concerts. You're going to have the games, the practices, the open practices to experience the teams. You're going to have opportunities to really involve everybody from the city of Glendale, from the city of Phoenix, from all the surrounding areas, and our friends at Arizona State who are going to put on an incredible show for the hundreds of thousands of people that are going to make this community their home for that week. I can speak from personal experience. 2012, we had the opportunity to bring our football team down here to play in a bowl game. We had an opportunity to bring our basketball team down here to play in the NCAA regional. And this community and the hospitality that you provide is one of the reasons why the committee looked at all the different proposals and chose the Phoenix-Glendale area as a site that we wanted to have a Final Four. We spoke about warmth, and warmth many times talks about the climate that you have here in Phoenix. But to our basketball committee, when we went through the process, when we looked at warmth, it's about the people, places, and events that this community has put on in the past. The warmth of your people working together collaboratively to make sure that our student athletes from those 4 institutions, the fan base, and everyone else that shows up in this community to be part of this event has a wonderful time. We appreciate you coming out here today. We appreciate working with you in the months ahead to ensure that this is one of the greatest Final Fours ever. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark, and we already appreciate your commitment to Phoenix and what you'll do here with us in 2017. We're so appreciative that Mayor Stanton was able to make time on his schedule today, and I'd like to welcome him to say a few words on behalf of the city of Phoenix.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is a great day in our city. Dawn and Dan and everyone who came out today, it is a wonderful day in our city. As a Michigan alum, it's even a great day having to share the stage with a Michigan State guy. But hey, we're all coming together to make sure this is a great Final Four in the city of Phoenix. It's an honor to be here today with so many great players and coaches. And you saw the legends of Harmon Park and Fat Lever. I saw you, an ASU legend, Fat Lever. You were up there. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. Stevie Coulter, who runs this park and a legend in his own right. All the other players that made this their home. Today we get to celebrate 3 great things. These students have Lowell Elementary, one of our best elementary schools in the city of Phoenix. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Harmon Park, one of the greatest parks, one of the most legendary parks in the city. And of course, a celebration of basketball and college basketball. Phoenix is a basketball town. Jerry Colangelo, thank you for making it a basketball town. We owe you a huge debt of gratitude. So as a basketball junkie myself, it's really a dream come true to be able to share this court with all of you. In fact, I decree here today that when we're done, myself, Coach Murphy, Coach Miller, Coach Hurley, and Thunder Dan will take on all comers. In fact, I challenge mayors around the country. We got the best team of college basketball coaches right here in the state of Arizona. To the NCAA and your partners, welcome to Phoenix, welcome to Harmon Park. As you will find out, this valley, our city, this community knows how to execute mega sporting events. We know how to work together under one banner, and we will set a new standard of excellence for the NCAA and the NCAA Final Four. And I'm glad that Mayor Wires and Councilman Chivera are here together with Councilwoman Gallego and I, because we work together as a region. It's not just about the city of Phoenix. It's Phoenix, Glendale, Scottsdale, Tempe, all the Valley cities coming together because we understand what an awesome responsibility it is to host events like the Final Four or College Football Championship this year or the Super Bowl last year. What an awesome responsibility, and we're going to come together to make sure we do the very best job. We represent an entire region. This will be the first Final Four in our city, the first in the West since 1995, and there are a lot of great Final Four host cities, but there will be no place like Phoenix, Arizona, and our region in April 2017. So we're grateful for the NCAA's commitment to leaving a positive legacy here in the host community after the Final Four. Sports and sports tourism are important drivers to the Valley's economy, and our businesses, our residents, we appreciate the value that they bring to our community, and we're going to treat them accordingly. We understand the responsibility required to host great events like the NCAA Final Four. We have a great track record, a successful track record of hosting successful events of the highest magnitude. We have shown in the eyes of the world, when the eyes of the world are upon us, we will do an outstanding job. So thank you for also choosing this park, Harmon Park, for the Legacy Restoration Project. As I mentioned, this park, Harmon Park, is a legendary park in Phoenix basketball circles. And that makes it the perfect choice for what we are doing here today. The 2017 Final Four is going to boost our local economy, but I'm just as excited to see the lasting impact that'll have on this neighborhood and the surrounding community. It is this court behind me, this park, has been a hotbed for college and pro players looking for top flight pickup competition. It was used as a training facility for the Harlem Globetrotters for a number of years. The gym is named, as was mentioned earlier, for NBA referee Tommy Nunez, the first Hispanic game official in a major North American sport. Latino community is such an important part of our community, and this Tommy Nunez is a legend in these parts. And of course, the court itself is named after Andrew Coulter, a minister whose son, Stevie Coulter, a basketball legend in his own right, a great City of Phoenix employee, oversees this park. Let's give Stevie Coulter a big round of applause. He's our hometown hero. He lit it up for the Portland Trail Blazers, the Sixers, and the formerly Washington Bullets, now the Wizards. Throughout the years, you could find other great players here on this court on any given Saturday afternoon. B.B. Fontenette, Rudy White, Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer, Fred Carr, just to name a few. We could be here all day listing the legends that played on this court. And along with organized basketball leagues, Harmon Park still, to this day, offers great programs for children, including karate, arts and crafts, volleyball, soccer, kickball, pickleball, homework help, and of course, important federal meals program. Stevie, you know, this park, this community center is a rock in South Phoenix, and you do a great work for the children of this community. Growing up in Phoenix, I personally benefited from having great after-school and weekend recreation programs just like is provided here at Harmon Park. Look around you. This is filled with kids, with an elementary school, Lowell School, and a city library just steps away. This park has been a cornerstone of our community since 1927, and we're going to keep it that way. So as mayor, I'm excited about this Final Four. I'm excited about the hosting opportunity, and I'm excited about the Legacy Restoration Project that's going to be left behind after this great event leaves our community. Thank you, Don Rogers, for letting me say a few words here today.
Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We're going to let Mayor Stanton take one shot because his entire staff is concerned that they are not going to be able to get him off the court today to go to the city council meeting. So one shot, Mayor, today. Thank you so much. And as you can tell, We have a true fan of college basketball here with us today. Now, we'd love for you to hear a few words from our men's basketball coaches. And again, thank you so much for making the trip. Entering his third year at NAU, please welcome NAU head coach Jack Murphy to say a few words.
Thank you very much. Big thank you to Don Rogers for inviting us. Dr. Campos and I were very excited to be here. Yesterday, I wasn't sure what to wear, suit and tie or a polo. I figure if I'm up here with Dan Marley, Bobby Hurley, Sean Miller, and I wore a suit, you think I was their accountant. So I better wear the polo, let everybody know that we're from NAU. Really appreciate it. Love the game of basketball, obviously. I'm the only one of the 4 coaches that attended a state university in this state. Went to University of Arizona, worked for Coach Olson. Was fortunate enough to be at the 2001 Final Four against some school back east I think Coach Hurley knows about. And we had a great experience there in Minneapolis. But to bring that down here to the Valley is going to be fantastic. And it's great for us as a Division I institution in this state, for kids that are 6, 8, 9, 10, whatever they are now, in 8, 9, 10 years, they're going to be our recruits. They're going to be the people that we're looking towards to help propel our program to the big dance in 2025. And so for them to be able to be part of a Final Four in their backyard, in their community, is going to help the game of basketball statewide. And I can't say enough about that, how it's going to impact and affect our university. So really appreciate that. Really appreciate the city of Phoenix and Glendale and Tempe and everybody bringing the Final Four here. And we're going to try and make it the best we possibly can. And we're going to be part of that dance somehow, some way. And we're always open to a large bid. So thank you very much.
I like the lobbying, Coach. That was the right group. Please welcome former NBA All-Star, Olympian, and World Team member, Grand Canyon University head coach Dan Marley.
It's a great honor for myself, Mike Vaught, GCU, to be a part of this celebration, so I'd like to thank everybody for that. In 1988, Mr. Colangelo drafted me out of Central Michigan, and Phoenix has been my home since. And just to let you know, Stevie knows this, Stevie Coulter, I've actually played against back in the day on this court and in that gym, and I've been crossed over many times by Mr. Coulter, and that's probably why I've had 6 to 7 ankle surgeries because of him, so thank you for that. Love Phoenix. Been here a long time. I think I've seen some of the greatest sporting events here. And in 1987, I was involved in the NCAA tournament with Central Michigan. Unfortunately, we were matched up against UCLA and Reggie Miller, so it was a short stay for us. Didn't last long. We were down by 30, cut it to 16, and our day was over. But I'm excited to have the Final Four here in Glendale and Phoenix, and I know they'll do a great job. At GCU, we still have 2 years until we're eligible. So we're looking forward to the time that we can battle and have a spot in the NCAA tournament. Until that time, you'll be hearing about us. So thank you for having us here. Phoenix is doing a great job. Glendale's doing a great job, and they couldn't pick a better spot. Thank you very much.
As a player, he participated in 3 NCAA tournaments, played in the World University Games, and coached the USA Under-19 national team to gold. Please welcome head coach from University of Arizona, Sean Miller.
Well, it's great to be here this afternoon. And, when Dan Gavitt mentioned some of the memorable times in Phoenix and NCAA tournament history, he mentioned Xavier versus West Virginia and the comeback. And I was on that bench. I was the coach at Xavier at that time. And I bring that to your attention twofold. One, we were the team from Ohio that left the bitter cold and the gray skies, kind of like Bobby Hurley did with the greatest trade ever from Buffalo here to Phoenix. And I remember that feeling of what it was going to be like to be in the NCAA tournament in Phoenix, Arizona, and a vibrant city that had just an amazing life to it. And that weekend, those 3 or 4 days, was incredible. A lot like Dan, our time ended a game before the Final Four. We ran into a combination of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Love on the same team. So we went home. But the other part for us here at the University of Arizona is, Lute Olson, what he has done, a lot like Mr. Colangelo for the state of Arizona in college basketball. You think of the great teams that he had, the 97 national champions, 4 Final Fours, and really a love affair that was created in Tucson, Arizona with college basketball a long, long time ago. And obviously it's an honor for me to hopefully continue that tradition for many years to come. But for us to have the opportunity to compete in the NCAA tournament, knowing that a Final Four would be here in our state in Phoenix, is something that I think everybody who loves college basketball in our state, certainly our fans, our players, are thrilled to have that opportunity to make happen. And in 1987, I went to school at the University of Pittsburgh, and every October I would dream about what would it feel like to be in the NCAA tournament and move towards the Final Four. And as much as you think of the thrill of victory, I can remember like it was yesterday, 1987, Lincoln, Nebraska, a guy named Barry Goheen. He hit 2 of the most remarkable shots I've ever seen in my life from about 50 feet, and we were a number 2 seed at that time, and it ended. That was 1987, and I feel like I remember it like it was yesterday. But the many lessons you learn in sports, a lot of them you learn in the NCAA tournament. You learn towards that quest to get to a Final Four because it's so sacred and so special. And I'm just excited to have that Final Four here in Phoenix, and thrilled to, like I had mentioned, see so many fans in the West have the opportunity to see it right here before them. So thank you very much. It's always great to be here in Phoenix, and I appreciate everything that this event means. And Dawn Rogers, by the way, is the person who hired me as the head basketball coach at Xavier. So she took a chance on me when my record was 0-0, so I was coming here today no matter what. All right, thank you.
In 2017 will mark the 25th anniversary of Bobby Hurley's NCAA Final Four MVP. Please welcome first-year Arizona State head coach and 2-time NCAA national champion, Bobby Hurley.
Well, that's pretty depressing. 25 years, wow, goes quick. Really want to thank Ray Anderson, our athletic director at Arizona State, for sharing this day with me. Final Four has a special place in my heart. Even before I was a player, I was a fan, and I grew up in the 80s just watching some of the best memories of college basketball, just seeing Michael Jordan hit the shot and the upset with NC State over Houston, and to see Villanova beat Georgetown, and to see those upsets, and Keith Smart making the shot for Indiana. So I always wanted to be a part of that. I dreamed of being in that event and being on that stage, and was fortunate enough to make a great decision to go to Duke University and to experience Final Fours, and seeing what it means, the excitement of being a part of that and becoming a champion. And the whole 3 weeks of the NCAA tournament, there's really no event like it. And we're very, very excited to have it here in Phoenix. It's no surprise that Super Bowls are here, and national championship games in football, and now we have a Final Four. So it's such a terrific place to live, and so many great entertainment opportunities for the fans to have a wonderful experience. I know it motivated me just to see the energy of the fans and how they could take over, an area. It made me want to play a little better when I was in those Final Four. So many great memories, and we're excited to host it, obviously, and we'll do our very best to get ourselves in the conversation. I'm not making any promises beyond that. All right, thank you.
The logo was designed by Joe Bozak and Company. And if you look at the logo closely, you'll notice the NCAA trophy front and center, held high, just as it is for our student athletes across 90 NCAA championships. So that's really the forefront and the piece of the mark that ties it all together. And so we want to elevate, we want to ensure that excitement around NCAA championships by ensuring that that logo is front and center. Behind the logo is a flag that's iconic to intercollegiate athletics, a flag that might be flying in an arena or in a gymnasium or in a stadium around the country that we think is unique to college sports. And then beyond that are the colors, the imagery, the passion, the excitement of what you see here today with all the kids and the cheerleaders and the festivities and the excitement that will be in Phoenix come 2017. So we offer this mark today in celebration of the many words that were shared today, along with the kids that are coming before you right now, and also a mark that will carry through all the way to 2017 as we look forward to the Final Four.